Hey everyone, it's Oz. Welcome. It's finally Raiden's rerun, and I decided to make a decision that I'm probably gonna regret, and that's to roll for her C2. I don't have any limited 5-star constellations, so I don't know how much it really changes how it feels to play the character, but Raiden's C2 is good, so hopefully I'm not gonna regret it too much. But first, I'm 60 PT on weapon banner, so I'm gonna see if I can get that engulfing lightning. I don't mind getting harmed because it's really pretty, but also I have exactly zero use for it. Alright, 61, Harbinger, 62, ooh, a purple, Moon, I didn't have that one before, so that's pretty nice. 63, nothing, 64 also nothing, 65 nothing again, 66, another purple, ooh, Favans, I need those. Alright, 67, and it's a 5-star, okay? Haran, never mind, Raiden times them, I'm 10 PT. Ooh, early 5-star. Okay, Rosaria, blue, 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 blue. Raiden, hey! Won the 50-50, nice. Sarah. Oh, and 2 Sarahs, that makes her C6. That's a really nice pull. Alright, next one is only flute. Sayo and Rosaria. At least got C6 Sayo now. Only Bell. Sayo and Sackfrags. Rosaria. Rosaria. I think that's soft PT. Or not. Rosaria again. Ooh, 5-star, nice. Blue. 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 Raiden again! Oh wow, that's the first time I've won 2 50-50s in a row. That's so lucky. I have like 340 wishes left. Since I got lucky, maybe I should still try for engulfing lightning. Right. I'm a bit of an idiot and forgot to record a rolling for EL. I got it on PT 64, so here it is! Look! Hey! Unfortunately no Aquamaru, but I wouldn't use it anyway. Time to activate the cons. Raise our engulfing lightning to level 90. Ah, looks so much better now. And now, final crown. Her build is pretty much complete now. I could get that C3, but don't think I will bother with that. Before we do the tests, I'm just gonna show my builds really quick. With Skyward Spine she has 2434 attack, 72 crit rate, 185 crit damage and 218 energy recharge. With Engulfing Lightning she has 2661 attack, 64 crit rate and 185 crit damage with 236 energy recharge. She uses Attack Sense and Goblet, which is why her attack is this high, but I use her without Bennett, and this build provides the most damage for the team I use her in. Alright, got my C2 Raiden and her weapon, so let's test out how she fares compared to C0 with Skyward Spine. I'm gonna test her out in a couple scenarios: Aeon Blight Drake, max damage on Scaramouche boss, and Abyss Floor 12. First, Aeon Blade Drake. We're gonna start off with a team that I normally play with. I call it Inazuma Electro-Charged, which is Raiden, Yaemiko, Kokomi and Kazuha. It's not a meta team, it's decent in AoE, it's fun because of Yae's off-field damage, Kazuha's jumps and all the reactions, comfortable to play because of Kokomi's healing, and it is kind of my creation, as I thought of it immediately when Yae's kit was revealed. So, we're starting off with Raiden's E, right now, right here! Kokomi's E, Kazuha E and Q, then Yae bursts and totems, Kokomi's burst, Kazuha's jump, and we can use Raiden's burst, which hits for 123,000 damage, and then we finish the Drake off with Raiden's charged attack. So, how does C2R1 Raiden compare to that? Well, upon doing the exact same setup, her damage jumped from 123,000 damage to a nice 230,000 damage, finishing off the boss without the need of a charged attack, which is actually not that much of a time save. Alright, so what's the difference in damage when using Rational or Raiden National Team? Raiden E, Xingqiu Q, Bennett QE, Xiangling QE, Xingqiu E, and we can burst. Musono Hitotachi deals measly 115,000 damage. Wait, so why is Musono Hitotachi dealing less damage in Rational Team than in Inazuma Electro-Charged? We have Benny here after all. Well, as I said before, my Raiden is packed with attack percent. This makes Benny's attack buff much less impactful. It also means that Raiden doesn't get as much damage percent bonus from Goblet and Emblem set, making Kazuha's buff better. However, I also checked the optimizer, and with Benny's buff she should deal a bit more damage than with Kazu. So I have no idea what's going on. Maybe it's just Yae's burst generating a bit more chakra, but it wouldn't have such a high impact. Alright, never mind that. So how much damage does she deal with C2 and her signature weapon? In Rational with C2 and EL, her burst deals 225,000 damage with her initial slash, which is generally what I expected. This allows her to finish off the boss with her N2C combo. And in this case, the timed save is actually more significant than in Inazuma Electro-Charged team. But I know what everyone wants to see, Raiden Hypercarry, the big damage team. I'll try it out in two scenarios, first, like previous teams, Iron Blade Drake starting with no chakra, and second, Scaramouche boss with maximum chakra and food buff. I've never tried Hypercarry before, so my execution might be bad, but I think I managed to use the burst with all the buffs. Alright, starting with Raiden E, like always, Kazuha jump and burst, Benny skill and burst, Sarah E, get hit and burst, and finally Raiden burst, which deals 236,000 damage, which is slightly more than what she does in other teams at Constellation 2. However, after that she needs nearly entire burst duration to finish off Aeon Blade Drake. So, how does it look on C2? Well, with the same setup, my Raiden deals staggering 466,000 damage to the boss, which then requires only one normal attack to finish off. By far the highest upgrade from all the teams, but that's to be expected in a team that focuses on Raiden's damage. Okay, but how far can we push her burst? After a couple failed attempts at setting up during Scaramouche's fight, I finally managed to use the correct rotation and deal 425,000 damage with my C0 Raiden. But that's not all. Time for the big guns. C2R1 Scaramouche with food and potion buffs. This time I knew how the fight worked, so I didn't have to try much. And with all the buffs from food, potion, Benny, Kazuha and Sarah managed to deal beautiful, astounding 747,000 damage, breaking my all-time highest damage record at the same time. I think it's safe to say she can definitely pack a punch. Alright, so we did some overworld bosses, the weekly boss, but we haven't tested her out in the real endgame, the Abyss. How am I going to test her there? I'm going to do each chamber half with my favorite team, Inazuma Electro-Charged, twice. Once with C0 and Skyward Spine, and once with C2 and Engulfing Lightning. The goal is to clear both halves of the same chamber within 3 minutes, which shouldn't be a problem in 12.1 and 12.3, but 12.2 has the Wolf Lord in it, and that's where we might struggle a bit. Starting off with the good old Perpetual Mechanical Array. Raiden E. Right here! Right now! Emerge! Kokomi E. Kazuha E. Kazuha Burst. Yae Burst. And Totems. Kokomi Burst. Kazuha Jump. And Raiden Burst. And we deal nice 39,000 damage. Hey, I forgot to create. Whatever. Anyway, Perpetual Mechanical Array. I used to love running this boss. I killed it well over 50 times back when it was in Abyss in 2.4. The fight is fairly straightforward as there is not much happening at the beginning. However, when it reaches the second phase, it might get a lot of invincibility frames, messing up the entire rotation. Just like here! There's also the problem that the Yad which we have to kill is randomized, and some of them are much harder to kill than the others. Alright, we set up next to the Yad, the Totems, Jellyfish, get hit, and jump. And because PMA messed with our rotation, I'm just gonna use Raiden's burst there. We kill the Dorito and we can move on to the boss. I really like Raiden's burst attack animation. Unfortunately made a bad decision of using Kazuha's and Yae's burst to finish off PMA, but managed to kill it in 1 minute and 25 seconds. Time for C2. Like always, Raiden E, Yae E, Kokomi E, Kazuha E, and Q, Yae Q, Yae E, Kokomi Q, Kazuha E, and the Raiden burst. This time we deal 75,000 damage, which is slightly more than 39,000 damage that we dealt at C0. Now, thanks to the C2 we managed to get PMA to the second phase after first Raiden's burst, which means we don't really have to mess up our rotation, set up at the Dorito. We unfortunately got the crab and they're just the worst, an early Raiden burst. I didn't want to wait too long because the crab could set up shield and it's just a pain to deal with. After that we got to PMA to damage it, further set up everyone's skills, and without wasting the burst, we managed to kill it in 1 minute, so 25 seconds faster than C0. Second half, C0. We've got a Geo Fatui and a pair of Eremites. We're gonna make sure to target the Fatui and hope that the Eremites get caught in the AoE. Thankfully they were close enough for Kazuha's E to suck them in, we use our burst, and by the time we finish our setup all 3 Eremites are dead, and we're left with one big Eremite. Immediately Raiden burst, it crits for 98,000 damage. Using it immediately wasn't the best idea because we didn't have VV debuff on the Eremite and he has quite a lot of health after entire Raiden's burst, so we're setting up the totems, Jellyfish, Jump and Kazu's burst, Raiden E for some damage and finish him off with another jump. Whole fight took 40 seconds. Okay, same fight but with C2, same start, Raiden E, Yae totems, Kokomi, Kazu suck, Kazuha slash, that's such a bad name, yeah again, and we actually managed to finish the first wave faster, so we can debuff big guy with Kazu, and then use Raiden's burst, critting for 214,000 damage. Thanks to that huge burst we can finish him off in a couple attacks, and we saved 18 seconds total, which means we did nearly twice as fast as on C0. Let's go back to C0, 12 to 1. We're fighting against 3 triangles and guess what? My favorite rotation! Raiden E, Yae E, Kokomi E, Kazuha E. Surprisingly it works and sucks the triangles in. I noticed I don't have energy on Kazuha and Yae because I wasted it at PMA. So I switched to Raiden and burst, dealing I have no idea how much damage because there are too many numbers on the screen, but I probably didn't crit. I finish off the triangles with my burst attacks, and we're left with Anemo Bow Eremite Lady. We're going with our favorite rotation, but it stops kinda early because Yae manages to nearly finish off the Eremite with her burst. This half took me 35 seconds. Time for C2. Because I didn't waste my burst on PMA, I can actually go with my normal rotation. Yae's burst nearly finished the triangles off, and now I can debuff Eremite Lady with my Kazu and use my Raiden's burst, not critting again and dealing only 85,000 damage, because apparently 65 crit rate is pretty much the same as 0. However, we can finish off Anemo Bow Eremite Lady in a couple attacks, with this half taking 24 seconds. And now it's time for the problem. The grand entrance of the Wolf Lord. We can set up and wait. This boss is definitely one of my least favorite enemies in the game. It wants you to use Geo, but also a healer because of corrosion. It has a really long intro, it flies everywhere, generally it's massive pain to deal with. It landed so we can do our rotation and use Raiden's burst just to not crit again and 41,000 damage. Why am I even trying? Anyway, the dog flies off into the sunset, gets shield, and remember I mentioned Geo? Well, we're gonna waste a lot of time by not having a Geo character in the team. Alright, we broke the last school just as the timer passed 7 minutes, so we failed on that. Afraid of the dog flying off again, I use Raiden's burst and then finish it off with 6 minutes and 40 seconds left on the timer. The fight itself took 2 minutes and 26 seconds. So, how did the fight go at C2? Well, not much better. I'm not going to torment you showing you the entire fight. I did struggle to hit it during the first phase, wasting all Raiden's burst attacks other than the initial flash, so School time.
2 hours later.
We finished the last one with 6 minutes and 53 seconds on the timer, failing the challenge. Well, kinda. Not exactly, but that will come up later. The boss is down, so I make a horrible decision of using Raiden's burst just after Kazu's without getting chakra from Yae's and Kokomi's burst, and I hit for only 43,000 damage because of course I didn't crit. 65 crit rate. That costs me a lot of time because the dog has still a lot of health left after Raiden's burst, so I have to finish it off with other characters. It even flies off, but fortunately Yae managed to kill it before it got the shield again. The fight lasted 2 minutes and 22 seconds at C2, saving us whole 4 seconds. So, did we fail? Fortunately, because the fight lasted 2 minutes and 22 seconds and C2 Raiden cleared first half in 24 seconds, we cleared this chamber in 2 minutes and 46 seconds, meaning that C2 actually managed to complete the challenge as opposed to C0. And finally, 12-3, Jade Plume Terror Shroom. I gotta say, I really like this boss. It just looks so nice and it's like cute green chicken. Unfortunately most of our bursts aren't ready, so after doing Kazu's jump I go immediately to Raiden's burst and deal 86,000 damage to the chicken. The same it crits! Hey! By the time the burst finished, the chicken has lost only about 1/4 of its health, and it seems that we angered it quite a bit. But at least we got enough energy to use our proper rotation. So, Yae burst, Kokomi burst, and the Muso no Hitutachi not critting, and it only deals 48,000 damage. Why do I still have some hope left that I can burst while having all the buffs? At least this time we deal much more damage to the chicken with our purple attacks, so we finish the chicken off with Kazu after 56 seconds. Okay, C2. We're starting in a better state again. We're only missing Yae's burst, but only by a bit so we can get it back while doing the rotation, which means we're off to a much better start. We use Raiden's burst, we didn't crit, 65 crit rate by the way, but after finishing the burst the chicken has only about 1/3 or 1/4 health left, so we basically spam random bullshit, hoping for anything to go off cooldown. We get Raiden's burst back, and we don't crit again, but we deal 69,000 damage, nice. After a couple attacks we beat the chicken, whole thing taking us 42 seconds. And time for the last chamber. We're beating a lot of angry puppies. Fortunately Inazuma Electro-Charged is just a perfect team for this fight, as it has pretty good AoE and really nice healing. By just setting up Raiden's burst we managed to kill 6 out of 15 deadly doggos, and then 6 more with Raiden's burst. Now we're only left with 3 big doggies, which really don't do that much apart from teleporting every now and then and just having a lot of health.
Right now, emerge, right here.
We managed to finish them off with 8 minutes and 9 seconds left on the timer, meaning the fight took us 1 minute and 7 seconds. Alright, time for puppies again. We managed to kill 6 puppers before Raiden's burst again, but then something unexpected happens. After Raiden's burst finishes, we're left with 4 enemies and not 3 like at C0, which means that clearly C0 is stronger than C2. But yeah, one of the puppies got lost, so we'll have to deal with it while fighting the big ones. Fortunately we can just use our usual rotation, and one of the big dogs strayed away a bit too far, so we have to chase it. But we finish it off with 8 minutes and 27 seconds left on the timer, so the fight took 50 seconds, which is significantly faster than on C0. So, how do our times look? Well, we nearly managed to beat all the challenges. If we combine the times from both halves of each chamber, we managed to clear them in 3 minutes in all chambers but 12-2 at C0, and we missed it the time by only a single second. Constellation 2 made our times faster by 34% in chamber 12-1, 8% in chamber 12-2, and 25% in chamber 12-3. So, what are my impressions? Was rolling Constellation 2 Raiden and her weapon worth it? Well, as Christopher Columbus definitely 100% said, I came here looking for copper and found gold. I expected to be immensely underwhelmed by the change from C0 to C2, but the clear times are much better now, The rotation was much smoother at C2 thanks to the better energy recharge from engulfing lightning and the fact that we managed to kill the bosses without using some of our bursts. And while before Raiden didn't feel like a core part of the team but more like a filler, now I definitely did have that feeling that everything in the rotation was used to set up her burst. And as an avid A enjoyer, I have to say, it was a very nice feeling. Also, now that my Raiden is C2, despite being more AoE oriented team, Inazuma Electro-Charged actually beat my favorite Abyss team, Yoimiya official Zhongli Xingqiu, at single target fights. On both Perpetual Mechanical Array and Jade Plume Terror Shroom, my Raiden team managed to kill the boss 2 seconds faster than Yoimiya team, which is not a big difference, but hey, Yoi team is very much a single target oriented team. So yeah, I can definitely say that rolling C2 and engulfing lightning was worth it. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for watching and have a great day. See ya!